So we're on to possibly the final steps of actually building the main dress and creating the patterns. And all we're going to do in this final section is just add in a few little details, just a few more little frills. Nothing complicated, so it's quite easy going. But as you can see from here, I've gone in and added a bit more shape to that skull there and in there. Just the same process as we saw previously. Nothing complicated there. I'm just going to move these up actually, just so all these are a little bit closer together. Just make sure Snap to Grid is enabled. Now, if you're just something I've just noticed there, if you're experiencing difficulties when you have Snap to Grid enabled, where it's not actually, it doesn't feel like it's snapping to the grid and you're not getting exact numbers, it could be because you also have Snap to Pattern enabled. If you turn off Snap to Pattern, then this will only snap to the grid. If you have Snap to Pattern on enabled as well, then it'll snap to the grid and to the pattern. So that may be where you end up getting conflict. So that's just something to bear in mind. If you're only working with the grid, disable Snap to Pattern too. So just quickly move these up. And remember, I'm holding down Shift just to lock the movement onto those axes. So yeah, let's add in a few quick accessories. So maybe we'll add something coming from her neck, because that area is looking a bit bare, coming down her back, sort of like a long sort of tail of sorts. And this area of the skirt here we left open. So what we could do is maybe add just a thin strip of fabric coming down here, which just hangs down either side. Just a bit more frill, really. So let's just start with the neck, maybe. So we'll create a new piece of fabric, something like that. Just going to go in with Snap to Grid on, just make sure these points are all actually on the grid. Now I could have gone in and just clicked this and just clicked once and then put in the exact dimensions, but I wasn't really sure. Sometimes it's good just to drag it out so you can visualize what you're working with. So the end, I want to maybe put maybe a fork in. So I'm just going to add in a uniform split of 2, and then this will allow me to just drag this middle point down. Just make this a little bit longer. We may even make it longer still. And we'll taper this in towards the end like that. So that's just roughly what's going to be attached to her neck. So now we need something to attach it to. So we'll just create another strip. So this is going to go around her neck. So let's just use her silhouette down here, like so. And again, let's just be a bit more precise and just snap these to these grid points. So maybe something like that. Now in this view here, the actual 3D view, so we want this to sew around the front and the back. But rather than have it completely wrap around, we'll just create a back to it as well. So Control C copy, Control V paste. We'll move that up to there. Automatically updates in here because we've got sync enabled. And now, because I've restarted this, I'm just going to go back to Gizmo World Coordinates. Push that back and down. And then because it wants to be inverted, I'm going to flip horizontally. So now use our sewing tool. So there to there. Now you can see it's gone to the opposite sides there, so we'll just leave that for now. So that there to there. And maybe we need to go in here, flip that horizontally again. Now I don't want this to fall just yet. I do want it to be horizontal. We'll move this back and we'll also move it down because this is going to attach here and then drop down behind the skirt. But I don't want that to simulate just yet. And I don't want the rest of the body to simulate. So I'm going to just select all of this. Also select the sleeves. And I'm going to go to, again, it's off the top of the screen. Deactivate. Now deactivate will, well, it will deactivate the actual garment, but it will also mean that other garments in the scene won't interact with it. So if you've got things that are overlapping, they'll just fall through it. We will want these elements we're adding now to interact with the cloth. So alternatively, I'm going to freeze them. So they won't simulate, but it means when this drops down, it will interact with the cloth. So I'm just going to temporarily deactivate that garment there, just so that we get that, just so we can focus on the neck area. So we'll just simulate this, and then once we're happy with that, we can work on this back bit and attach that to it. But before I simulate this, I'm just going to have a quick break, and we'll just continue on in the next video.